All right, Shalom. This is the brother Mayim coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of the great millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. So I want to do a quick response video to the video Apostle Gabar did entitled The Daily Edification, A Word on Suffering. All right. And the Lord put the spirit on Apostle Gabar to make this video, to let brothers know, especially you brothers that are just coming into this truth, to know that in this truth there will be persecutions and sufferings that we must go through. All right, but like I just said, we must go through them. All right, because this is persecutions and suffering is a part of being in this truth. All right, that's a way that the Lord that's all a part of the trial. Okay, that's all a part of this this faith, this walk that we're in. All right, if it was an easy if this was an easy walk, then everybody would be in it, but they're not. All right, and we're gonna get into that. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm gonna get into this couple scriptures. All right, and then I'm gonna give a couple of my testimony of being being persecuted and suffering for this truth's sake. All right, but first and foremost, let me get this precept here. All right, this is John chapter 15, verse, I'm going to start at 18. It says, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. All right, Yahweh Shai being the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is him who's speaking to his disciples. Let me read that again. It says, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. All right, so this world hated Yahweh Shai, man. His own people had him crucified. His own people had him scourged. All right, his own people would chase him out of their cities. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Just to get this point real quick, because Yahweh Shai was chased. Yahweh Shai was chased out of the cities, man. All right, because his people hated him, and it's the same thing that happens today to the men of the Lord. All right, this is Luke chapter 4, and what was it, 24? It says, and he said, verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. All right, and that's right, man. And starting with your own household, man. Starting with your own household, like the Apostle Gabar went into. Let me get that precept real quick. The first people that don't be accepting you is your own household. Salakia. All right. So we just read a prophet is not liked in his own home, in his own hometown. They chase the prophets out of the city. All right. Let's see where this persecution is going to start, man. What was it? 36. But let me get up here real quick. Let me read this real quick because I just seen this pop up. This is spirit, but this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 22. And it reads, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endured to the end shall be saved. Exactly, man. And so you see, anywhere you go in this truth, this walk of life, these spirits are going to be on these people to hate you. All right, there's going to be mainly your family members as well, man. That's why it's not a smart idea to be telling your family like that, especially if after you've told them if you've told your family and, they buck up against it, it's not a smart idea to continue to try to, so to say, quote unquote, convert them, man, because they're not. All right, if they're gonna be converted, if the Most High is gonna wake them up to this truth, the Most High is gonna wake them up to this truth, man. Don't keep trying to beat a dead horse. All right, but let me read that again in verse 22. It says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake." The name of what? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rochakudash, man. All right. You can't you go to your grandma's house and you start talking about Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. She's gonna look at you with two weeks from Sunday, man. Talking about that's not his name. You better be calling Jesus Christ up in this house. Brothers know the nigga woman how they be responding. But it said, "But he that endured to the end shall be saved," because we're gonna go through these things in this and this walk this walk that we're in, man. Okay. But you can really continue to read down there, but let me get down to the point here. All right. This is I'm gonna start at 34. This is Matthew 10 and 34 says, "Think not that I ain't come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword." All right. So you see, you get a lot of people in this world who like to talk about how Jesus, all right, whose real name is Yahweh Shai, is gonna come back to bring peace, but he's not. He himself has said that he's not coming to bring peace, but a sword. And he said, continuing on, verse 35, "For I am come to set a man at variance against his mother, or Salak, against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household." So you see, the Lord is coming back to bring that division, man. Salakia. All right, the Lord is coming to bring back that division, and if you're in this truth, that hey, man, that is going to begin at your household, man. That division is going to come at your household, man. You're going to have, matter of fact, you're going to have your family members going to be the ones to turn you in, man. A big portion of the men of the Lord they're going to get exposed is going to be because of their family, man. Well, I'm not going to say, I won't say exposed. I'll say looked at in a bad lighting, portrayed as a bad lighting. But now that I've said that, I want to get into my testimony of the persecutions that I've been through and this truth, because, when I first came into this truth, I was with a woman, and, I continued to stay with that woman after I came into this truth. We stayed together or whatever. And, eventually she ended up pregnant, and had my daughter. And during that time that she seen, because she got pregnant around the same time that I came into this truth. So it was just about the same time. So, naturally, you try to, be together and everything like that. But, demons would hop on this woman, and she would see that I wasn't being the same. I wasn't acting the same as I was before, as when I was in this world. So she started causing a lot of problems, man. She started causing me a lot of problems. She would leave me. We weren't even she didn't even want me in the delivery room when she was giving birth to my daughter, which, still the Lord had it to where I was there, but she didn't even want me there. But then not only that, after my daughter was born and everything like that, being in this truth still, we got back together and everything. We got back together, and there came a point to where one day, she ended up basically leaving me again. A whole situation happened to where we ended up having to go to court and everything like that, And I'm not gonna put out, all the information and everything, but like that. But if brothers who've heard my testimony before know what happened. But for the sake of time, I'm just gonna get through, cut through the details and get to the point. But basically, we ended up going to court, and it wasn't anything that we were going to court for me. It was more for going to court because of something that the mother had done. All right. So we're in court, and this is about a little over 2 years ago. We were in court, and then her lawyers started looking at me. After they had got, she had got done getting questioned and everything like that about, everything. Her lawyers looked at me, and they started asking me if I was a terrorist, if I hated America. You know, they started playing camp videos in court. They started saying how he hates women. He's gonna beat his daughter. He's gonna commit capital punishment on his daughter because of what the scriptures say and this and that, and he's mentally ill. All because I was in this truth, and this woman didn't like the fact that I was in this truth. She wanted to take and put that into the court to try to take my daughter, and they took my daughter from me for a good year or so. I wasn't able to see my daughter unless I had a supervisor there with me, somebody that would supervise the visits. You know, and I had every time I would go to court, they would show new videos. They would talk about this and that, ask me about what this mean and everything like that, and they would get cut up because the spirit just had it to where I would. The spirit, gave me. I didn't go to court thinking, okay, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that. No, because, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, I put my trust in the Lord, and the Lord would deliver me out of that situation, though. All right, and eventually, I got my daughter back, and I'm able to, now I have my time with my daughter, and everything like that. So, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. But the point of that story is that you see how the persecution started for me with the mother of my own daughter, and how she tried to take my daughter away from me because of this truth. So things are gonna happen in this truth when they come, uh by your family, man. Those ones that are closest to you, those are gonna be the first people to try you, man. And throughout the whole time that I'm at court, I have my mother, yelling in my ear, you need to stop doing them videos. They're gonna keep using those videos against me, and I wouldn't say nothing to her, because you don't want to, go against your mother. All I would tell her was like, I'm not gonna stop doing those videos. I'm not gonna stop doing the work of the Lord just because they want to take my daughter away from me. And even my own lawyer was telling me, you need to stop, stop making the videos, don't do the videos, blah blah blah. And then at the end, when eventually the lawyer or the judge, she had seen one video. She finally saw one of the videos, because that's how this devil worked, man. They were keeping my daughter away from me for a whole year, and the judge didn't even watch a video of her own. Everything that she was watching in court was all edited, so they could never put it down as evidence or anything like that. The judge wouldn't allow them to put it in evidence, but she would still watch it. And the people were saying this and that about me in the videos, but the judge was never really, hearing it because they was all edited videos. But eventually, after so long, the judge wanted to watch a video, and it was all spiritual, because the video that the judge wanted to see was 1 hour and 44 seconds long, man. And after she watched that, she got cut up in the spirit, watching the video, and she came back the next time we went to court, and you could see that her spirit was completely changed, that like if she was in fear, and basically she said, ended up saying that, we can't keep his daughter away from him, because of what he believes, that's breaking his rights, blah blah blah. So eventually they ended up giving my daughter back, and then everyone in that courtroom had to eat their words, man, especially my mother and my lawyer. Even my lawyer came up to me after the whole thing ended, and he was like, well, see, now it's a good thing that you didn't stop making those videos, because it shows how strong it shows your faith to them. It kind of shows that you're really dedicated to this. And the judge, the video that she saw, she was like, in the video he said that, he's not gonna stop, he's not gonna put off the Lord to forsake his daughter. As a matter of fact, let me get that scripture, because in this truth, man, you gotta forsake all, man. And this is the precept that the judge read in court. She took notes and everything on the video to go to show you that the Spirit of the Lord is with us, brothers, man, to deliver us out of every situation, man. All right, this is Matthew 19 and 28. It says, And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 29, And everyone that has forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. So you see, we got to forsake all in this truth, man. Because of, and that's not to say that don't take, just abandon your family, abandon your kids, man, because you be going off if you do that. But we gotta, the Lord comes first above all, man. And if anything in this world gets in the way of that, or is used against you to try to get you to stop doing this work, you got to let it go, man. That's all a part of this persecution that we got to go through, man. But you got to let it go. And the judge heard me read that scripture and the video that she saw, and she wrote it down and brought that out in court, and they were all amazed, like, wow, this dude's ready to lose his daughter to continue to do this work that he's doing. They didn't have no understanding. Those people didn't have an understanding, but all those people were judged. I'll tell you that much. They all heard the name. They all heard the prophet speaking in the videos. They were all judged, man. And it goes to show you, because the main lady that was going after me, hey man, it was all beautiful, but real quick, I just want to say this, because the Lord delivers us out of all these situations, man, and the Lord delivered me out of that situation and got my daughter back. But quick testimony on that, one of the main lady that was trying to keep my daughter away from me, outside of the mother of my daughter, the woman who worked for the state, where was it? Right here. All right. She ended up missing, man. She ended up disappearing. Nobody knew who she was, or where she went. Nobody knew anything. Not even her government job knew. They had called me and told me that they had to replace her with somebody because they don't know what happened to her. She just up and disappeared, man. I wouldn't be surprised if she was ended up dead in a ditch, man. But this is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 11. It says, persecutions. So I'll start at 10. It says, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of all of them the Lord delivered me. So you see, we're going to go through things in His truth, and that faith that we have to have is that the Lord is going to deliver us, because He is. The Lord will deliver us out of these situations, man. If you're sincere and you pray to the Most High and you continue to do what you have to do in this truth, the Lord will deliver you out of this. All right. In verse 12, it says, Yea, and all that will live godly in Yahushua HaMashiach shall suffer persecution. So you see, if you live godly, if you live sincerity in this truth, and you push and you do what is commanded of you, you will suffer persecutions. But like we read in verse 11, the Lord will deliver you, man. The Lord delivered Paul. The Lord was going to deliver us, man, that are sincere. Okay? But you see how the Lord delivered me out of that first persecution, man. And that was a direct, a direct persecution of this truth, man. They played the videos. They were, all that, man. And it's all in the court system. All brothers that are in this camp are in the video, man, are in the court system already. So we're gonna go through some things in this truth, man. All right, we're going to go through things in this truth. Okay? So, well, I'm going to get one more precept. Let me see. Okay, here we go. All right, because you don't want to end up like these guys here that we're about to read, okay? This is why we got to continue to push and be sincere about this thing, because if not, those persecutions are going to destroy you. All right, and this is Mark chapter 4, verse 15, and this is the parable of the seeds, the sower and the seeds. I'm gonna get to the point though, and this is verse 15, Mark 4 and 15. It says, "And these are they by the wayside where the word is sown, but when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, but when they hear the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure for a time. Afterward, and this is the point, this is the seed that fell on the stony ground. It said, and when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness. Now remember, in 2 Timothy chapter 3, we read that we're gonna go through persecutions. It says, and so we're all gonna go through this persecution. All right, so keep that in mind as we read along. It says, I'll read again at 16. It says, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground. So when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, see, for the word's sake, not because you're being a nigga. Now you gotta have the understanding of when you're suffering because you being a nigga, or you doing something wicked, or because you're being persecuted for this word's sake. Okay, there's a difference. All right, but it says afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. So you see, this is why you have to be sincere in this truth, man, and not no bullshitter, man, because you're gonna become offended, man, and the Most High is gonna spew you out. So don't be that seed that was sown on stony ground, man. Be deeply rooted in this thing. Be that seed that fell upon the good ground, man, and still and endure the affliction and persecution that cometh, man. Because it said here, afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, meaning that there's going to come persecution, there's going to come affliction in this truth, man. Regardless of what seed you might have been that fell upon what, man. Okay? So hey man, we gotta pray to the Most High to continue to deal with us and work with us and to get us up out of this persecution and to get us and to continue to move us forward, man, to the end. I remember we read in Matthew 19, it says, all men shall hate thee, but he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved, man. Roughly paraphrasing. So, I was gonna give another testimony, but it's more along the lines of the same thing. Well, I'll just say it. Eventually after a while, I ended up getting with another woman that I've known for a long time, from way back in the world when I was in high school and everything like that. Me and her ended up getting together, and again, she ended up, now she's obviously known me for a very long time, and known me since I was in the world, and known me a little bit here and there throughout life when we were in this truth, or since I've been in this truth. But eventually we ended up getting together, and she ends up pregnant after a while, and so after a while, she started bucking up, against this truth, saying, not that I was speaking to her about it, but she just didn't like the fact that I was in this truth, man. It was just, to be quite honest, I honestly don't know why. I mean, I know why. I mean, there's Most High put that in her spirit to be like that, but she basically ended up telling me that she was going to leave me and not let me ever see my son, which at this point he wasn't even born yet, but this was she was having her son, and she was basically telling me that she was not going to ever let me see him. He wasn't going to know who his father was if I didn't put her above the Most High. She didn't like the fact that she was second. And this is coming, I'm quoting you verbatim as she said it, because this is something that I, didn't really forget. But she told me that she was not going to be second to no one. She's not going to be second to no one, that she has to be first in my life or she won't be with me. She told me that I had to put the Most High behind her. And I told her that wasn't going to happen. I said, I ain't going to, I told her that I'm not going to put the Lord behind you. Who are you? But nonetheless, she ended up leaving me, because of that. And she didn't tell me anything about when my son was born or anything like that, and was bugged out as she ends up, now I'm able to, now the Lord, through, the Spirit of the Lord, I'm able to see my son now. And you know but I didn't even find out when he was born until like a good 6 months after he was born. But nonetheless, you know she was so bugged out that she even named him, gave him Hebrew names, a Hebrew first name and a Hebrew middle name. And this is someone that she don't know anything about the Hebrew. She hates the Lord. She's really an atheist. you know she don't really believe in the Lord or anything like that. But she ends up giving him, my son, Hebrew names. Okay, that just to show you that the Most High will make a mockery of you. But nonetheless, the Lord delivered me out of that. But that was persecution that I had to endure because of this truth's sake. That wasn't really anything serious as the first one. But the Lord just some of my persecutions that I've had to endure in this truth is because of my children. My children and their mothers, and them leaving me and trying to keep my kids away from me because of this truth's sake. That was just two persecutions that I've had to go through in this truth, just to show you, brothers, that you will go through persecutions in this truth no matter what it is, man. I just gave you two examples of persecutions with your kids, man. But what we have to forsake all for the Lord's sake, man. Even your kids, man. If your kids are to never want to speak to you ever again, or your women try to leave you and take your kids from you because of this truth's sake, then hey, man, there's not much we can do, man. But to continue to push, and what the Lord said He would give us 100-fold in the kingdom of heaven, man. So that's what we strive for, man. We gotta endure these things that come to us in this truth, man. Okay? But with that, Lord willing, you brothers are edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. And until next time, brothers, I say Shalom.